All right. Well, we are excited to be joining you today for a preview of the digital signage experience. Steph, what do you think?
I'm really excited, Gary. I was so thrilled to, obviously get the chance to go back to this show this year. Digital signage is one of those areas in our industry that is changing the most and the most frequently. It is one of the areas in AV that is being most heavily influenced by AI right now.
Yeah.
And it just the face of digital signage, even since I have been in this industry the past 5 years, it has changed significantly.
Yeah. It's
So,
it's so yeah. I was talking to. You'll see this in my interview with Jonathan later today when we were talking. I I um I remarked how digital signage in the beginning was like communicating from HR and communicating directions, like wayfinding, communicating signage information. Now it's advertising, right? Now it's branding. Now it's live events. We used to use the projection in concerts for just image magnification of the
mhm.
artist, but now we're putting content on there that is both artistic content as well as paid content, right? Advertising type content and immersion. Now it's now signage is part of hospitality. It's part of museums, and of course, with digital out of home, it's exploding. And then now we have this new market of e-signs and e-paper. It's really transitioned quite quickly, and it's one of the reasons why, Steph, I think that the whole industry needs to change its branding. I think digital signage is a bad term. I think digital experience is better,
Yeah.
or signage experiences, or something like that. I think DSE's done a good job of that because they don't call the show Digital Signage Expo. They call it Digital Signage Experience.
Experience.
Yeah.
100% agree. And so the whole reason why we're doing this event today is because when I have talked to people in the industry and been like, hey, I'm going to DSC. I really think you should come. One of the biggest questions is, what can I expect from that event? Like, what's going to be there? So, we put together this event. We're talking to some key stakeholders, really big people who are going to be there to give you guys kind of an idea of why this event is so cool and why this is my favorite way to close out every year by going to this trade show.
Yeah, I mean, and it has no competition because there's not much else going on in December. So, should we do a platform tour or anything like that, or are we kind of
Yeah,
assuming
I'm
that
happy
all
to
know who
just
we
kind
are?
of quickly explain to people a little bit about how this works. So,
Okay.
if you have any questions for me or for Gary or for any of our speakers and the people that Gary and I are interviewing today, you can ask those in that area directly to our right. That is the Q&A. That is the easiest place for us to get your questions and be able to answer them. Um, Directly below me and Gary, that is the poll questions. These are just kind of like our temperature taker to be able to see what portions of this you're engaged with. It kind of helps us when we form more events in the future to see what is really working from this event. If you continue to scroll down, you'll see the networking chat. This this is where all of you are. So you can talk to each other. You can direct message one-on-one. You can say stuff in the big group chat. You can message me, message Gary, talk to any of us. We love that. We do talk back. One thing about me and Gary, we do talk back. So continuing on, we have more information about our lovely speakers. You can connect with any of them by clicking on their headshot. It takes you directly to their LinkedIn page. And then if you keep going, you see a little bit more about DSE, how to register, and all of that information.
And they
So
can use our code, right, Steph? They can use, what is our code?
our code is rAVe PUBS, I believe.
Right?
I
Use the
hope.
Ray Pup code and you can get in to the show for free.
Mhm.
And yeah, so the first interview is you talking to David Drain.
Mhm.
So David's been in the signage market for 20 plus years. I remember meeting him years and years ago when there were like when the industry was sort of forming its
Mhm.
way out of a part of programmatic advertising as that was sort of just starting.
Mhm.
There was a customer experience show that he was in charge of, and he's been part of DSE now for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years.
Exactly.
But tell us about that interview, and I'm looking forward to watching it.
Well, I was really excited to talk to him because I made him boil down his top 3 things
Oh,
that
good.
people should come to DSE for. I was like,
Perfect.
what are your top?" It was like, say you have an elevator pitch to give to someone about why they should come. What are those 3 things that you think people will really walk away being like, "Yes, I totally understand this market now." So, I think that that's the best little tidbit I can give you. So I think that
And if you watch this, ask us questions and we'll answer the questions because we're on here live.
yeah. So, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and roll that now. Okay, very excited to be kicking off this event with our very first interview, David Drain of QuestX, who is also the director of DSE. So, literally the perfect person to talk to me about this. David, how's it going?
It's going great, Steph. Always good to see you.
Good to see you. So, how's it been getting ready? Are you busy? No.
A little bit, yeah. We're
Yeah.
in the final push, so here we are. It's about a month away, and I mean, we're excited. Can't wait.
Yeah. So, first question, just for the folks who maybe have never attended before, they're kind of just, watching this to figure out, like, should I go? Explain in a nutshell, what is DSE about?
Sure. I mean, DSE is a digital signage experience, and so if you're interested in any way, shape, or form in digital signage, then this is the event for you. So it's really we call it the ultimate gathering of digital signage experts. So it doesn't mean you have to be an expert, it just means that we have experts on hand to help guide you. And so if you are a systems integrator and you're looking to expand that aspect of your business, if you are obviously an end user and you're looking at implementing digital signage, or maybe you have and you're looking at taking it to the next level, it's both. It's a tech event for sure, but it definitely also focuses on strategy and just really the in content. And so it's an event for ideas and inspiration as much as it is for gear.
That's a perfect description. What can attendees expect if they come? This is their first time. What should they expect to see?
Yeah, so the event takes place in the West Hall of the Las Vegas Convention Center, and everything takes place there. DSE is in the first hall, and all of our activities are really there at the convention center. And so it's a pretty condensed event. Unless you come early, there are some things for the early birds who want to take in extra things, like we have tours. We have, of course, the digital signage experts group giving their certification program. But I know that the majority of folks are going to be coming in on Sunday and going to the mixer Sunday night, and then attending the show on Monday and Tuesday, where we also have the conference sessions. Your badge to DSE gets you access to our sister show next door, which is LDI, Live Design. And so that's a live event tech show. It's a dark show, so they have the lights off, and because of all the lighting and lasers and things like that are going on. There are a lot of screens on that show floor as well. And so yeah, you'll have a very stimulating experience in terms of visuals to take in, but also an opportunity to get down to business with people and learn more and find out what you need to do to take the next step.
That's awesome. So I prepped you for this question because you needed to condense a little bit. So,
Yeah.
all right, if you could pick 3 things that you think are the most exciting about this year's DSE, what are they?
All right. So I put that I always have to be excited about our keynotes, right?
Yes.
And we've got the chief digital officer of Taco Bell.
I'm so looking forward to
Yeah,
that.
yeah. We've got Thibaut from Gentle Hum, so bringing that Montreal cool, interesting design flair, and we've got Craig Winslow as well. So a number of great keynotes. And then I guess if I had to pick a second thing, we're doing an innovation park. And so this is a really cool spot where companies are sponsoring a topic. And so people can go learn about that topic and get into small group discussions about that topic. So that would be the second thing. And then I just love the awards. It's so much fun to host, but the projects are just amazing. And we just announced the finalists recently. And we're starting to kind of dribble out over social media all the category finalists with their videos. And I think, you'll be impressed as I am and wowed by the creativity, the innovation. It really is moving forward.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. I so appreciate your time. The last question I'm going to ask you is a very easy one. Where can people go to register now if they have not done so already?
They can go to digitalsignageexperience.com.
Perfect. Well, David, thank you so much. Can't wait to see you on the show floor.
Thank you, Steph. Appreciate it.
Good interview, Steph. Next, I had a chance to speak to Kirsten Gibson, who is the Executive Vice President, and she's also a board member, by the way, of the Digital Signage Federation, but she's the Executive Vice President for Sales and Marketing for Reach Media Network. They're actually going to use DSE to launch a new version of their CMS. What's interesting about Reach is, every signage player needs a CMS. They have a universal CMS. So if you don't want to use the built-in signage player, or let's say you're making an investment today in BrightSign, and then you maybe in the future may use a different signage player like Spinetics or something like that, or even potentially even use what's built into the display. Reach can make it where you can use the same CMS for all displays. So Steph, I think you'll enjoy this interview.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, thanks. And hello, everyone. This is Gary Kay. And of course, we're all excited about DSE. We've been talking about DSE for a long time. So glad the show is back. I'm sure one company that is glad the show is back is Reach Media Network. And I'm joined with Kirsten Gibson from Reach. She's the Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing. Kirsten, how are you doing today?
Doing great.
I really appreciate it. First off, congratulations on your Vikings, and appreciate you being here. They're having a great season, and y'all have had a great few years here. For those that don't know who Reach Digital Signage, about your digital signage software and who Reach Media Network is, tell them a little bit about sort of where your sweet spot is and what y'all do that's different.
Yeah, I would say, so we are digital signage software at the end of the day, so CMS, like everybody else. We do offer a variety of different solutions. So not only, your standard, typical non-interactive digital signage, we do expand our CMS to interactive displays, remote digital signage, collaborative space solutions, room schedule displays, video walls.
So since you mentioned collaborative displays, for example,
yeah,
I know that Zoom and Teams host digital signage now. Your API works in line with those, or whatever PC would be in the room as well to run the room?
Yeah, so it's very seamless. We work with ScreenBeam, Barco, ClickShare, all the kind of your standards. Teams rooms definitely are trending for us, as well as Zoom rooms as well. So that definitely is an up and coming solution that we're seeing trending across the board. And in addition, just kind of internal communications as a whole, regardless of the industry. So it could be education, it could be retail, that they're seeing kind of the central management aspect of being able to go in and, basically with a click of a button, send content to a variety of different facing screens.
Well, all the players have CMSs. So tell me why I would use your CMS over a player CMS.
Yeah, so there's a couple of different things. At the end of the day, for us, it's the customer success aspect. It is very, very simple. So I guess there's three things: very simple, quick and easy to publish. The roles and permissions are very robust in that sense to make it quick and easy. About 80% of our users really are going in there to publish their content, whether it's to one location, one department, or multiple. Second piece is our integration platform. That's really what our CMS was built around years and years ago in ice arena space. Obviously, that's kind of how we've expanded. And one of our sweet spots is kind of, we are probably an anomaly that we started actually outside of the space and moved into the digital signage space. So our integration platform, a lot of them are very self-serve, where it's basically authenticating through our platform and pulling in that information. Obviously, we have a lot of custom integrations as well, kind of depending on the use case and scope of that requirement. But we've really tried to brand and customize the display per, not only per customer, but per use case to keep that brand consistency. The third and last thing, and I think this just shows in terms of the employees that we have, as our customer support. You know, we have a very high retention rate. We still have, you know, our first customers. You know, it really boils down to kind of that white glove service that we provide all of our clients, regardless if they're a couple screens or thousands of screens.
I mean, I was surprised I didn't hear from you, because it seems logical to me, would be the fact that since you're player agnostic, you can use the same CMS regardless of what player they use. So if they put in a network now using brand A, or you know, we could say brand B, how's that?
Yep.
And then they switch over to brand S, or they add more players just using another brand, they can still use the same CMS, and they don't have to worry about that. The player just becomes the output device.
Correct. Yeah. And what we're seeing too, I mean, more and more that, you know, I've been using digital signage for years, are trying to standardize on a certain type of device. And I think it really boils down to, from a security aspect, the OS, right? So it really, that's what, you know, customers are coming to us for, if they may already have a solution in place. But we still service those, I call them onesie, twosie type customers that are looking to grow, but they might not have the budget. And so that is why, with being agnostic, you know, they can at least start somewhere, and then maybe move up to more of those enterprise type devices that are really going to help them scale. So that's where we really try to find the solution that's going to work best for them. And, you know, with devices, obviously we love to, you know, make sure everybody's on, you know, more of a premium device, but we're not going to, you know, if they need to start somewhere, you know, we're going to be able to run on it.
Okay. And so, how, you know, tell me, am I missing anything else? Is there something else that, is there anything I think you're introducing a new OS, a new CMS, I should say, at DSE, in fact, here in a month. So talk about that and what's different for the new one versus what you have now.
Yeah, so what we're really excited about is, you know, earlier this year, we did kind of have a beta launch with some new customers that, you know, were on our brand new CMS platform. The beauty of our new CMS platform is, not only is it making it more scalable, but it's even simpler to use than our current one. The one thing that we're going to be introducing is, especially for existing customers or customers that have spoke with us before, they are going to have more of an opt-in, opt-out. So I always say, kind of going back to the teams, you know, you can toggle on and off. You know, we are launching it in phases, just to make sure with those, like, especially with the integrations, that is kind of more of a powerful development that we have to get over. But we are introducing, and we're really excited to showcase a lot of the new features that really, it's the day-to-day aspect of a CMS. You know, once you have everything set, your integrations and everything, you know, you're really coming into a CMS to publish the content. And that's really what we want to get users on. And that's, you know, kind of where we started with our new software.
Yeah. And obviously it's cloud-based. I mean, so you can manage it anywhere. To learn more, you can go to reachmedianetwork.com, I'm assuming, reachmedianetwork.com. And Kirsten, I really appreciate you joining me today. I appreciate it. Kirsten Gibson, we've been talking to Kirsten about, she's the executive vice president of sales and marketing at Reach Media Network. And we've been talking to her about their new CMS and why you need to go see them at DSE as well. So yeah, thank you very much, Kirsten. I appreciate you joining me. And I think this fits in well with all that we're talking about today. The show is going to be exciting. It's of course small, because digital signage is a niche market, but it's popping up kind of everywhere. So yeah, let's head back to Steph.
There are certain people in this industry that I just really vibe with and just enjoy talking to. And Brian Mazzaros is for sure one of those people that we just vibe. And he is fantastic. He is of OpenEye Global, which is a really cool company. And he is also part of XUSC. And they are doing some really cool work at DSE. So please enjoy this interview that I did with him, where basically we just had fun and chatted for 10 minutes. So check this out. Hi, everyone. Very happy to introduce you all to Brian Mazzaros, head of OpenEye Global. First of all, Brian, how are you? I love the festive, beautiful necklace you have on.
Well, I'm past. Oh, first, hey, Steph. Sorry, I'm past Halloween, so I figured I have to switch gears. Got a new holiday, something excited to be So I
Did
thought,
you put your Christmas tree up like the day Halloween ended? Yeah.
no, it is still tucked away. So
Okay. All right. At least you're not one of those.
no,
So
no.
leaning in. So DSE, it's coming up. We were just talking about that right before we started recording. But ahead of DSE, what major trends are you noticing in digital signage, experiential design? What are you looking forward to seeing at the show?
Well, AI continues to be a topic, and more software companies, CMS, are starting to build it into their platform. More experiences are incorporating it. So, I think it's nice to have one sort of last final conversation of AI. Heading out to Vegas, and certainly a lot of different CMS groups will be out there, and a lot of good education around it. So I think that's what I'm most looking forward to seeing, especially where we made the progress from beginning of the year, and now here we are wrapping it up and seeing what the trend is.
I think that is always what is exciting about DSE is that it's always at the end of the year. So we're now seeing all of those things that we kind of started to hear whisperings of at ISE actually like implemented and taking place. Do you think that AI has already changed digital signage in the AV industry, or do you think that it's still kind of at the forefront, still kind of working and seeing like what it can do?
It's a good question. I think on paper, people read that it's changed. I think implement it, it's not where it is on paper. So I think a lot of people are still trying to figure out, practical applications to use it in, versus, there's a lot of high level use cases you find or thinking about, but I just don't see a lot of that just implemented just yet.
Yeah.
Just like to your point before, I'd be curious, where do we head next year with it? Do people actually apply aspects of it that are only written about and really see it in use?
I think that we're probably going to see a lot at DSE of people's different iterations of AI and their different ways that they are starting to apply it in different workloads. Or workflows. I'm excited to see exactly what that is. But anyway, so another event that I'm excited about that always comes up at DSE is you guys always have a really good XUSC event. And in Las Vegas, you've had it a few times at Able Baker Brewing. I'm really looking forward to it. So first of all, do you want to talk a little bit about XUSC in general?
Yeah, sure. So Experience United Social Club, something I started back in 2018. It just continues to grow. It started as sort of off the beaten path type of network experience, and then just continued to manifest over the years. And it was more about bringing people together, and the notion that experiences create good, strong connections. And it was always this kind of quest for it to find unique environments to bring people together in. And then it just started to grow and just attract more people, because they are good conversations. They are unique experiences, unique ways to spend an evening. And I think that made it a lot stronger for people just to connect, and something different than I think we were all familiar with. There were sort of the more boring cocktail Frank style mixers and in a 4 wall room with gray walls. And this is meant to make it more lively. And I think as an industry that continues to skew younger, I think not only does it help us bring together, but also helps to attract new people into the mix from different practices and different skills and organizations. So and it just continues to have events like this and something different. I think that's always the challenge, is how do you sort of outdo the last one? And which is fun. It's fun to kind of think that through, and hopefully we have I think we have another good fun holiday party in store for Vegas.
I'm excited about it. I think I've told you this before, but this event is the one that cured my fear of networking.
Oh, I do think you said that. That's awesome.
Yeah. I used to have a really big phobia of just walking up to someone and talking to them. And it might have been the previous environments of it's a stuffy room. I'm standing in a corner. There's all these people in suits that I don't know. I'm scared to just walk up to them and talk. But this is it's just at a brewery. I would go here with my friends. So of course I can just walk up to someone who's sitting at a table and be like, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
And I did do that at the last event that I attended at at Able Breaker Brewery, I think. So this is going to be, I'm excited to come back. This is going to be a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
So, okay, there's going to be some live music, right?
There will be live music. When we did it a couple of years ago, we had this really cool 3-piece that we found called the Elephant Ballet. And so they're a little acoustic set, and gonna have them. They're gonna be playing some holiday tunes.
Lovely.
They're fun. They'll be there for the whole night. So definitely adds to it. It's just such a great space, and where they're in towards sort of the back and near the bar, and definitely fill the room with some good vibes.
And I heard that there's a special guest coming.
Santa, it's funny. Santa reached out again. He had such a great time last year.
Yeah.
And, he asked and he wanted to make another appearance. I guess he likes Vegas in the holidays.
Don't we all?
Right. I think he's able to get away from Mrs. Claus for a little bit.
Yeah. He needs a break. He needs a break. He needs a beer.
So he's coming out and, he's bringing all the joy and, Santa's sack of goodies for everyone. So, why am I going to say no? I mean,
he's bringing everyone an HDMI extender.
Yes. He's got some Cat 5 cables.
He's got media players.
He's got a stack full of media players, maybe some CMS licenses. It's everything. Every AV
for everyone.
It's all right there.
So, how do you think events like this really contribute to fostering that really strong and engaged community within digital signage? Because that's really important.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what you kind of said before. I feel like in the past, a lot of events you tend to be intimidated by it because I think a lot of people, it's great. They come to shows, especially ones for the first time. It's such a big industry. It's hard to network through. And then you feel like, how do I just go up and say hi? How do I find some kind of in? And I feel like this sort of creates that more soft spot, for people to just mingle and to connect, to have fun. And when you see people that are letting their guard down, that are, wearing, a necklace or, dressing up or doing fun things, you kind of feel like you're part of it. And then it's the whole part of it is you want to feel part of a community. And that's what really this night is set up for. It's just to make people feel part of something bigger and just be able to go and carve out their own path and make a name for themselves and just enjoy and meet people. So
awesome.
Nothing's judgmental, which I absolutely love about it. At the end of the day, you're all there because you just like a good night out and you experience. It's no different than you going to kind of like a corner bar, at home. So
exactly. All right. So next question, are there spots left? Can people still sign up, and where can people find more information about it?
So yes. So Santa has finished checking the list. He had to go through the list. So I think we're good. So there should be some more tickets that'll be opening, I would say probably Friday.
Okay.
So keep the eyes on the website. So experienceunitedsocialclub.com. There's a landing page. There's the tickets there. I know DSE, all the sponsors to you have been posting it on their social channels as well. So the link is out there. I would say Friday morning, check it. Because Santa just gave me the final list. So got rid of a few naughty people. And just kidding.
Me, I'm the one who got kicked off. So whoever wants to go on the street. And that is, for everyone watching, listening, that is December 9th at 7 p.m. local time. So, and that is at Able Baker Brewing. But yeah, thank you so much, Brian. And last question for you is, where can people find more information about you, more information about XUSC, anything about what you do?
Yeah, I'd say obviously LinkedIn. You can find my profile, Brian Mazzaros, openeyeglobal.com as well for OpenEye. And then XUSC, very long domain name, experienceunitedsocialclub.com. But you can also find that through my LinkedIn profile as well as on Twitter at OpenEye Global. So there are all those resources. I say that you definitely will find one way or another a path to XUSC.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, always. Thanks, Steph.
Looking forward to seeing you. I'm gonna probably sneak in since my ticket's gone now.
That's all right. Well, Santa, I'll get you. I have a good in with Santa. So.
Okay. Yeah. Tell him to let me in. Tell him I've been medium, not necessarily nice. I've been very medium, middle of the road.
I'll let them in, and then I'll let you in, and I'll tell them to save you like an HDMI extender or
Thank you.
something to decorate the tree with.
Means a lot. Means a lot. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate you.
All right, I'm excited to be bringing my buddy Jonathan Braun on to talk about his kind of excitement, or what he kind of sees what DSE's role is in the industry right now, the future of DSE. And remember, he and his father were instrumental in creating the only certification for digital signage in our industry. So let's bring Jonathan on now. I'm excited to be joined with my friend Jonathan Braun. He and I have known each other for 20 years, approximately 20 years, and he comes from the Braun legacy family of something like 50 years in the industry. Jonathan, how you doing?
I am doing great, Gary. You sure you want to say that in public? I don't know if we want to date either one of us there.
I know. You know, it's interesting though. The truth of the matter is your family probably was more instrumental in the term digital signage, the industry digital signage, than any other. And in fact, you had the first and still, I think, really the only digital signage certification program.
Right. Yeah, we did. And it's something Alan and I are very proud of, that we wanted to create a certification because there really was a need. Obviously, Avixa has had, through several organizational names you and I are familiar with, they've had the CTS program, and there really needed to be something like that for signage. And there really wasn't. Once we saw that need, we worked with the original DSE folks, we worked with Infocom, and we built together this really great program that we're very, very proud of. You know, it's the official digital signage certification of the upcoming digital signage experience. It's the official digital signage certification program for Infocom and for the Digital Signage Federation. So we're really proud with that industry involvement. So thank you for the kind words, my friend. I really appreciate that.
It's phenomenal, and I appreciate you doing it because it's really helped sort of steer the industry and made it official, right? I mean, kind of made the industry official. I want to talk to you about the show that's coming up, because obviously we're here today to talk about the show.
Yeah.
DSE is a lot smaller than it used to be, but really it's kind of been pulled apart in different parts of the industry in different ways. Like digital signage used to be, you know, about putting monitors in dentists and doctors' offices and places like that to communicate information. Now it's integrated into advertising, it's integrated into events, it's integrated into museums, it's integrated into the classrooms and boardrooms and meeting rooms with UC platforms. So I think what's interesting is DSE's done a good job of keeping a show available that focuses mostly on emerging technology, and then once it emerges, it kind of just melds into everything else.
Right. I think that's a really astute observation. Not that I'm shocked you would have one of those. Of course you do. It's really important to see that the DSE, I'm proud to still be involved with the show. I know there are some detractors out there. I'm saying this publicly to your audience. I think that's not 100% fair. You identified why DSE is still really important. We need a congregation point focused just on digital signage.
It's kind of like the SID of signage.
Exactly. You know, Infocom's a great show. ISE is a great show. Those are amazing shows, but they're not focused. So we've got a trade show to highlight emerging technologies, to give us a congregation point in Vegas, to give us conferences, opportunities like for myself to provide the certifications. The Digital Signage Federation has a whole group of courses that the organization is sponsoring. As a board member of that organization, I'm rather proud of that as well. And so it's a really important venue that people need to recognize. And it is a great way to see the new emerging things and the different ways we look at and use signage today in different ways than we ever did before.
Well, what is your favorite digital signage technology? I mean, honestly, which one do you like? Because I'm going to include projection in that too. So if you had to choose,
thank you.
If you, well, since you already said thank you, I guess projection is one of your favorite then.
No, well, I have to give the nod to so many people say that the projection has no relevance anymore. And, you know, given our history, you and I both know projection is still a cornerstone of the industry, even if it's a lot smaller, a cornerstone than it used to be. And a portion of projection is still part of digital signage. Wrapping an image in light is still pretty, or an object in light is still pretty impressive. But no, I honestly think that now we're starting to see alternative uses for display, where we're seeing more e-ink coming in. I think that's going to be pretty impactful. And that goes from everything like the shelf labels, which still are digital signage, to larger ones. That's why you're seeing more mainstream brands like Samsung and Philips offer that technology. I do think that those unusual uses, not the standard flat panel, as I gestured to the one in the background, not the standard flat panel. I think that's what's exciting. And that's also why DV-LED has become so prevalent. So I think it's more a use case than a specific tech, but that's kind of what excites me these days, is different applications.
And so considering that, how much has your class and your certification changed in the last couple of years, considering some of the newer technologies?
Yeah.
And when you imagine that class 5 years from now, what will we be, or what will you be teaching that's new?
It's totally changed. The core outline, if you read it, hasn't changed a lot in 15 years because a lot of the core concepts, but it depends on the course. So we're doing two at DSE this year. We're doing the Digital Signage Certified Expert, which is the general knowledge course. That hasn't changed an enormous amount. We update it every year, and we'll have up-to-date statistics. We'll talk about new display technologies that are relevant, or new concept in CMS software that becomes relevant. Like we transition from primarily on-premise discussions to primarily cloud discussions. It's just a small example. So that course, because it's the foundational course, hasn't changed dramatically, because the way signage works is still that. But the second one I'm doing, on the first session is on the Saturday before the show. The second one is the Digital Content and Media Expert. That's changed a lot, because while the nuts and bolts of content production, the tools you use, the workflows haven't changed, the concepts we use for that type of content have, because we're so much more focused on place-based media and context and relevance than we ever were with just simple advertising. So that one's changed a lot. I think that'll continue over time. And then the display technology course, I'd love to teach that more. That one's completely rewritten. In fact, I need to re-record it because I need to completely redo the thing from last year.
Well, I think that it's interesting, because I think that digital signage will be swallowed up by advertising, the whole entire advertising industry, because I think it's going to become like a communication platform. I think another part of it will be part of HR. I think it'll be HR, advertising, and security. So I think security will be like campus security, things like that. HR for communications, and advertising for
that makes
branding.
sense.
I think that's the direction.
You see that merge, right? You see that merge where it's like, okay, so you see CMSs that are doing things like office hoteling and integration with UCC platforms. So it's not going to be that distinct singular entity. It's going to be a Venn diagram with lots of circles.
Right. And that's why I think the term digital signage is terrible. So I like the fact that that the show's even calling it digital, the digital signage experience, because I think signage experience is better than digital. But I love talking to you, Jonathan. In fact, Jonathan and I, at the end of the month, middle of December-ish, we're going to do a kind of a wrap up of the whole ProAV industry. So for those of you who are attending this, you'll actually get an invitation to that. Jonathan, thank you very much for spending time with me. I'm heading back. I'm going to send it back to Steph now.
So for this next interview and portion, I talked to Brandy Alvarado Miranda of BAM Marketing and PR, but she's also super involved with rAVe, which is a really cool organization doing a lot of really great work for women in the AV, IT, and digital signage industries. And they are doing some really cool work, a Women in Tech lunch at DSE. So I asked her a little bit about that and about the work that rAVe is doing ahead of this trade show. So check this next interview out. Hi, everyone. For this session, I'm very excited to introduce all of you to Brandy Alvarado Miranda of BAM Marketing and PR, but she is also a part of rAVe, which is a really great organization. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. First of all, Brandy, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm doing really well.
Good. Yeah. So first of all, do you want to just, ahead of DSE, it's one of the last trade shows we all get to go to this year. Do you want to talk about some of the trends in the digital signage space that are exciting to you as we head into, the last few months of 2024?
Yeah, I'm really lucky. I've got a nice little ecosystem of clients that I work with that are, a lot of them are in the digital signage space, ProAV, digital signage mostly. And, some of the things that I'm really jazzed about seeing in terms of trends in digital signage is the whole sustainability issue, right? I've got a client, Pravar, right now that just released, a really cool e-ink, e-paper type of product specific for digital signage. And I think, I love seeing those kind of trends, obviously, because, we need to do a better job of taking care of our planet and things to that nature. And this is definitely in that realm, but yet still offers customers that amazing visual experience that they're used to seeing in digital signage. So that's one trend I'm really excited about. The other thing that I think, just as kind of a tech nerd and tech junkie is, anything immersive. I mean, let's talk
Yeah.
about the Sphere. Let's talk about Cosm. Let's talk about, any of these sort of like really cool, immersive experiences that are just, the lifeblood of our industry. I think they're just really too cool to not experience.
Do you think that digital signage is in a lot of ways pushing these other kind of areas of our industry forward?
Oh, definitely. I think, with a lot of, manufacturers in the space, right? It's not the bright, shiny that you're seeing, like, let's be honest, cables, mounts, matrix switchers, things like that.
Yeah.
That's not, those aren't, while they're a necessary, part of the whole digital signage ecosystem, they're not the bright, shiny as we get with, displays, whether that be LED or flat panels or what have you.
Exactly. No, I'm excited to see a lot of this technology that is pushing that forward at DSE, because a lot of it is going to be, you're right, a lot of the LEDs, the LCDs, the OLEDs that are really pushing this forward, but
Yeah.
it also is like in part the technology that drives all of that as well. But I kind of want to shift. I want to ask you about Wave It, because you're doing a lot of really great work ahead of DSE. So what are some key initiatives that you have been working on in the organization to support women, maybe specifically in digital signage?
Sure. Well, proactively, we work with DSE and the folks at LDI and Questex to do a Wave It and Women of Digital Signage, gathering every year. So, excuse me, this year we're doing a tech brunch actually called Navigating Careers and Breaking Barriers, and that's going to be held on Tuesday, December 10th at 10:30, I believe. And really, what that is it's kind of a little bit of a mosh, right? So we really want to talk about why mentoring is really important to women and how we facilitate that from the Wave It side of things, but also the why, right? It's really important to understand that these mentorship programs like what we're doing with Wave It are really vital for DEI, for getting women a better seat at the table, so to speak, and to really moving the needle towards more inclusion in our industry, and not just digital signage that sort of is overreaching into a lot of areas. So that's one thing. And then in terms of Wave It, the other initiatives that we have that are, I think, really sort of vital to women in the industry is, one, we started a podcast, which is really amazing. And that reaches, audiences on a whole different level, because it's, women speaking about their experiences and coming from different angles and perspectives. And I always think that that's just a huge vital importance to, again, sort of rounding out our careers, rounding out our our perspectives on different issues in the industry, and really coming to the table with some resources and things that have maybe worked for others that we hadn't considered, right? So podcasts are amazing, and I think that's one thing that we've brought. We've started a job board, which is another big
That's
part of
cool.
the puzzle, right? Because what we found back when we hit COVID, and thank God we're over the whole pandemic baloney and nonsense. But one thing that we know that was a big contributor, of decline of women in this industry was COVID. Let's face it, COVID didn't do us any favors.
Right.
A lot of women had to leave the industry to find other methods of income, right, during COVID. So we lost a little momentum, and we know that by having a job board, that helps match people in their careers, so people can either post their resumes or they can look on our job board for potential opportunities to match them up with. The other thing that we're super proud of is our internship program. So we started that last year about this time, and that's been going gangbusters, and we have other organizations that are interested in doing that. And again, this is all sort of like the baby steps of bringing more people into the industry, retaining people into our industry, women especially, and really just kind of the outreach that I think we're kind of lacking, because let's face it, who knows anything about AV until you're actually in it? There's not a real, like, well, with the exception of a very few like AV 101 type of courses that we are now realizing in the industry, it's just not a college type of thing, right? We fall into it. We hear about it, or we're ex-musicians or band geeks or something like that, and fall into this career. So we really want to push the envelope a little bit more with our outreach, and having an internship program definitely facilitates that. And then, the last thing, and obviously sort of the bigger piece of the puzzle for us right now, is our mentorship program. And so that one was just kicked off as well. And that's something near and dear to my heart, because I've always in my career been lucky to have a mentor. Even when I wasn't in AV, I had a mentor in other careers and other jobs that I had. And I just can't stress the amount of help that brings to somebody's career, to help navigate situations, to help, encourage different perspectives and dealing with things, helping you with challenges, right? I mean, the fact that you can pick up the phone and grab your mentor, or shoot a quick text message or what have you, and have that interface it's vital. And I think that's one of the big reasons that we wanted to bring our mentorship to the forefront. That, and it's just something that we're lacking. A lot of the larger corporations in Pro AV do have internal mentorship or women's organizations and stuff like that. And while that's great, we really want to reach others that aren't able to get those sort of resources, within their organizations. And so, really there's a very small process into, finding a mentor, finding a mentee, and being matched within our Wave of Influence mentorship program. And really, there's a small survey that everybody fills out. And unlike other programs, we took a very personalized approach to the Wave of Influence program. So what we wanted to do is really match people that were geographically kind of in the same time zone, so that you're not having to fight a time zone to meet up. B, we wanted to match people that wanted to commit to a certain time frame. So in other words, if you filled out the survey and you said, well, I want to try this for the next 6 months, or whatever that time frame is, that's the commitment that you're making from the get-go. And some other personal tidbits about where you want to be in your career and what you want to work on, and really trying to find mentors that match and meld with those kind of people. And then obviously some other detailed things, like you would want somebody that's in sort of your same area of concentration, sales, marketing, just different things, maybe tech, project management, who knows. But so we're really taking a very personalized approach to matching people up very specifically. So we've had really good success so far, and the program's doing very, very well. And then, taking that a step further, it's not just, you're matched and, go gangbusters and have your first meetings and do your thing. It's check-ins, right? Because we know that we need to make sure that, it's continuing, that the momentum's continuing. If there's anything that we need to address from, any personal, side of the equation, but we know that we need to be sort of more hands-on with a mentorship program and make sure that it is successful in that respect.
No, that's awesome. I'm really glad that you guys are doing this, because I think that as a woman who entered this industry, I think it's really easy to feel lost.
Yeah.
And it's not that people aren't trying to support you. It's that you just don't even know what questions to ask half the time. So I still feel like I'm treading water in this industry sometimes, but I think that I really felt that way when I first entered. So I think it's really cool that y'all are providing that support to those who might really, really need it.
Yeah, absolutely. And just having a network of, of like-minded individuals that are on the same page as you, whether it be just an individual or an overreaching community like Wave. But I think that's really important for me. That's made a huge difference in my career as well, to be able to tap into my community.
Exactly. Well, if people have any questions or might want to get involved, where can they do that?
Sure. They can go on the WAVEIT website, which is womeninavit.org. And there's a section on there under resources called mentorship program. So you can fill out the survey there and get some more program details on that particular page. Or you can find me and chat with me as well. I'm on Twitter at AVBrandy, as well as on LinkedIn under Brandy Alvarado Miranda.
Awesome. And question about the brunch coming up at DSE. Who is that open to? How can people find information about that?
They can go to the DSE website, and it's under the show agenda. I believe it's open to everybody. It's a paid event, so there's a nominal fee that goes along with that. But everyone is welcome to attend that if they're at DSE or if they're at LDI or any of the other conjoining shows at that point.
Awesome. Well, Brandy, thank you so much. Always a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you all so much. Appreciate you.
As always, a great interview, Steph. You did a great job, and Brandy's got some good insights. So basically, that's it. This is kind of our pitch to hopefully kind of get you excited about DSE, encourage you to use our code to register for DSE. It's in Vegas. It's a good time of year to go to Vegas, good weather. It's not expensive to go to the show, and it is co-located with LDI. LDI is a very cool show. It's about a third the size of Infocom. LDI is. It's the only show I've ever been to where all the lights are off and all the ambient light is generated from the booths themselves. So it's kind of a cool haunted house kind of vibe to it, with a lot of LED lighting, gobo lightings that it's been converted to LED, a lot of display technology,
a lot of fog machines,
fire, wind, and fog kind of stuff. And I think you really enjoy it. So if you want to use our code, it's rAVe. That's all you got to do is just go register for the show and go use code rAVe. So Steph, I've enjoyed doing this today.
Thank you. I also enjoyed it, Gary, and we do hope that this convinces you to attend with us. Again, this is just the perfect show to really close out 2024 and AV. We're so excited about it. And this is just scratching the surface of reasons that you should come. There is going to be so much stuff going on in Vegas when we go. And I don't even think I talked enough about the Taco Bell keynote. I'm so excited about the Taco Bell keynote.
He's in charge of customer experiences. And if you've gone into a Taco Bell, you know that they've got both app-based ordering and also kiosk-based ordering down pat. They've been doing it for probably 10 plus years.
And they're workshopping an AI-based ordering. They have AI functionality integrated into their app. Taco Bell is really doing it in a way that not all fast food chains are doing it.
But I still only eat the Nachos Bel Grande. So that's all I eat there.
And
I love the Nachos Bel Grande.
And I think that's beautiful. I am a Crunch Wrap and a Baja Blast kind of gal myself.
I tried the Crunch Wrap. I just love the Nachos Bel Grande. I miss the cheese in the Nachos Bel Grande. So
I get it.
We'll have to have a eat off.
We will.
For the Taco Bell.
Perhaps. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We hope to see you at DSE. Don't forget to use our code rAVE PUBS, and we will see you on the show floor. Bye.